the Swope Art Museum here in Terre Haute. And when you first enter, you can't help but just revel in this beautiful sculpture. This sculpture is made by Paul Manship. It may look kind of familiar because he also did that iconic sculpture in Rockefeller Center in New York City. And that one's called Prometheus Fountain. But this is Diana, and she lives here in Terre Haute. And as you see, she is a thing of beauty. Paul wanted to be a painter. However, he was colorblind, so it didn't work out very well for him. So he decided to be a sculptor instead. And Terre Haute is lucky enough to have this beautiful sculpture right as you enter the Swope Art Museum. This is Sheldon Swope, and he is the benefactor that made this whole Swope Art Museum happen. He lived here in Terre Haute, and he died in 1929, which was before the Swope Art Museum actually became what it is today with his artwork and his money. However, he did have a jewelry store. He sold jewelry and finer things, and I'm going to show you what that building looked like at that time. Let's go take a look. This is a photo of the Swope area where he had the property and he had the jewelry store. And this picture was taken by Martin's Photo Shop in 1930, and Martin's is also an iconic name here in town for the art shop, the photo shop that they had here for so long. But you can see exactly what it looked like here, the cars at the time. It's a really neat picture, really neat addition to the museum.
Okay, so this is 5 O'Clock Tea by Mary McMonnies, and this is actually a very large painting of the artist talking to her neighbor, who was the wife of another artist. She studied a lot of French Impressionism, and she took a lot of inspiration from it. McMonnies is one of the most influential female Impressionist painters in America.
Was born in Terre Haute, Indiana in 1840, and he was largely a self-taught artist. He began his career sketching scenes of Civil War battles for Harper's Weekly, and in the 1860s, he traveled through the rugged Rocky Mountains. His journeys took him along the riverways that arose in the high peaks of the Colorado Mountains. Guggens made several sketches during his travels before translating them to canvas years later. This painting is called Downtown. It was painted in 1973 by Billy Morrow Jackson. And if you take a close look, it is an area of Terre Haute here. Jackson placed himself sketching in the left foreground, looking across South 5th Street between Wabash and Ohio, and placed his family on the bus bench. The artwork here that you see may look a little familiar in design, and that is because this is painted by Grant Wood. Grant Wood is most known for American Gothic. American Gothic right now is in the Chicago Art Museum, if you'd like to see that there. A better view somehow, I don't know. Spring in Town, the piece that you see here, was painted in 1941 and was Grant Wood's final painting. It appeared on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post in 1942, accompanied by Wood's own words. In making these paintings, as you may have guessed, I had in mind something which I hope to convey to a fairly wide audience in America. The picture of a country rich in the arts of peace, lovable nation, infinity worth any sacrifice necessary to its preservation. With the very survival of the United States threatened by war, the idealized America that Wood evoked in Spring in Town must have brought special comfort to the Post's readers. Another popular painting at the Chicago Museum of Art is Nighthawks at the Diner, and that is painted by the same painter who painted Route 6 Eastham. That is Edward Hopper. These pieces of art are by John Rogers Cox, who was actually the very first director of the Swope Art Museum. In the 1940s, at the same time that he served as founding director of the Swope Art Museum, he was gaining a reputation as an important new artist. Among his most famous and critically acclaimed works is White Cloud, that you see here, which won third prize at the prestigious Paintings of the United States exhibition at the Carnegie Institute in Pittsburgh in 1943. Purchased almost immediately after its debut, this work remained in a private collection for over 50 years until acquired by the Swope. Cox is considered a magic realist for his combination of very exacting technique with surreal elements, seen here in the looming clouds, deserted field, and intensive detail. As is characteristic of his work in White Cloud, he abandons the effects of atmospheric perspective. This is John Rogers Cox, The Occupant, painted in 1982. And if you'll notice, there is a home right there. And that home is here in Terre Haute. And we're going to take you to go see it at the end of our vlog. We hope you enjoyed the trip today to the Swope Art Museum. It was our first time here, and it was just amazing. We couldn't believe the different artworks in there, and sculptures, and the staff there knows a whole lot, and they gave us a lot of great information about what we need to look at and take special attention to. Sheldon Swope wanted to make sure that the
museum was free to all, and it has been since 1942. So there is no fee to come, donations accepted, and maybe you'll find time in your day to stop by downtown Terre Haute and go to the Swope Art Museum. Well, that's it for Hungry Oceans today. We'll see you on our next adventure. Bye-bye.
We are going to find John Rogers Cox's house from that painting, but like in real life, and I think it's right here. Maybe? No?
Nope.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think that's the one.
It's kind of a neat house.
It is a neat house. It's on a corner. It's on
So
a
we are on
corner.
5th Street here in Terre Haute.
There's a lot of pretty houses.
Yes.
It's brick. The house we're looking for, I believe. It's a brick house.
I think it might have been that one back there.
Do you think?
I don't know.
It says South 5th and we're almost to the end. I think you might be right.
That's a nice house too, but it's not his house. That's a nice house too.
Okay. I'm going to say that must have been it. Let's see if we can figure it out. Because this is the end.
Well, does it keep going if we like jog over and then jog back? I'm glad I'm not moving that mattress up there. Okay, now we are going north on 5th Street. We've reviewed the footage, and it turns out that I was in fact correct, and that was the house that we were looking for. So we're going back so that we can show you this house right here.
Well, we hope that. Well, we hope. Now we can't stop laughing. Okay, one more time, Red. It's hard to say, well, we hope you enjoyed your trip to the Swope Museum. It's like a tongue twister.